Let's move on to the struggles of today. News, all I've been hearing all this week, Donald Trump and what's going on in America. Everyone's talking about white supremacists. I think one of you guys sent me something and had newscasters crying like really upset.
I put it in the group.
Okay.
Initially it's all emotions, and sometimes you got to step back from it and see actually what's going on, let the dust settle to kind of see what actually is going on here. There's a lot of heated and emotions and hot stuff going on right now, and the media's getting involved, and it's just people getting excited and angry at everything and nothing, and I'm like, okay, let me just let dust settle first before we make an opinion of what's going on.
Brian, how have you taken? Have you seen any of this?
It's nothing new. It's not a surprise. He's basically showing his true colours, but the thing is that people are still ignoring his true colours. So, you know, he more or less came out with it during his campaign.
Yes.
Yeah. So why should there be a surprise that it's now happening? It's just now more in your face as opposed to you know, down in hidden in a sense. Somebody sent me a picture on WhatsApp. I can't remember who it was, but sent me a picture of him in between 4 clan wizards with a burning cross behind him.
I saw it with his parents.
His
parents had hoods on.
Exactly.
Last night, black folks saw it and went, "There's nothing wrong with that." Now they're crying. Like the man had a hood on.
Yeah.
Like they just don't make no. Like I'm with that. I have watched it. I gotta be honest. I've been like, and every time I'm looking at it, I'm just amazed. Like what? You're surprised. The man's got pictures as a young man, a very young man. And his mum and dad, not just the mum is out there making jam and them things to take to the clan march, and you surprised? Like the man's being himself. That what was everybody said about Donald Trump, and what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
Like I got to be honest. I prefer this dude to Obama. I like him. I'm not saying I like him because his policies are great and all of the stuff he's saying. I'm not saying any of that. The man is talking about whatever's on his mind. He's just saying it.
He's got no filter.
No, but I don't want a filter. I want to know what you're saying. And we've had so much filters. We're confused out here. Yeah. Like you, I'm sorry. So you just got the wake-up call. So you've now realised that the president don't really business about you. Oh, so you didn't know that when it was Katrina, no? You didn't know that when Kanye's on the telly, George Bush doesn't care about white. You didn't know it then. But now we're waiting. Oh, now George Bush has come, and people are like, I feel betrayed. Like the one with the brother crying. I mean, like, crying.
And the thing that was interesting because this was a brother. What is his name? He's a Fox commentator. And you know that they like to prove that they're not racist. They like to handpick a few chosen people.
Say it like it is, brother. Say it like a torture. Tokens.
Token Negroes that they like to handpick and put on the show.
Yeah.
So he was actually one of the people who was actually on there during Trump's campaign, you know, talking him up and whatnot. So he was in tears talking about how he can't sleep. He couldn't sleep because, you know, President Trump has betrayed us and this and that. And he's a big man in tears. But it's I guess
ran out.
This is the thing. It's like when... if you had your hope in Mr. Trump, if you thought he was something else, then you're going to be disappointed.
It's ridiculous, and I keep thinking, like, where have these black people been that they're so upset? Like, so you never thought that you were ever going to have to do anything for yourself. You always thought that they were going to take care of you. Like, based on what assumption has allowed you to come up with this?
It's just, it's not even that. I think it's just the fact that the facade is not there anymore. So this, because if you actually really studied it, like I saw someone sent me something. I think I put it in the group where they said that people are saying that Charlottesville's a wake-up call, but the wake-up call was like in 16, 15. You don't just keep pressing snooze.
Bro, so, that is the longest wake-up call ever. Then when they forget lift, no, that's not. But I feel like at certain times you just really got to get on and do stuff.
So it's the facade that it's why people are crying is there's no facade, so you can't hide from it.
You see,
that's the problem.
I understand.
Yes.
And I understood white people being upset because he was exposing them. He wasn't like, it's nothing new to us. If you black, come on now. But what I want you to do for me, T, give me some, like, let's roll through, because this whole Charleston is a set of events that's happened. Sorry, it's not Charleston, is it?
Charlottesville.
Charlottesville, there you go. It's a whole set of events. And then I want you to even look at some of the responses, because there was, remember they had this car crash situation,
Drug crash.
where the terrorist has driven through the crowd and killed, I believe it's a Caucasian lady.
Yeah, I think there was like 20 people that were injured, something like that, and one Caucasian lady that was killed.
Okay. Now, the response to that is
Let's
markedly
go-
different.
Yeah.
And then we had the situation in Barcelona where something similar happened.
Yeah.
And whereas it's like, okay, well, we don't want to say anything about which white supremacists may or may not have
Let's go
committed the
through
crime.
that. Let's go through that.
Roll for it for me. Let's
So
give me the
we
timeline.
know we spoke about it last week, that incident with where they call them the alternative right, basically, where they had neo-Nazis, white supremacists, all these groups kind of coming together, and then the counter protesters came together, and this is when this incident took place, where this young man basically took his car and drove through the counter protesters, killed one person, injured 20 more. So obviously widespread shock, horror. Okay, so Donald Trump came out, and basically he was shortly afterwards he was under fire for failing to condemn them, because basically what he said was, you know, he came out and he said in his official statement that we condemn, these are his words, we condemn in the strongest possible terms this display of hatred, bigotry and violence on many sides. Then he paused and he said on many sides again, just to make it clear, many sides. Like, I can't just come out and say, he's not going to just say that it was the white supremacist group or whatever. He wanted to say on many sides.
Yeah.
So when the news picked up on it like incredibly quickly, it was everywhere online and in all the newspapers saying that it was not presidential, that he was supposed to condemn the white supremacist group. That's what a president is supposed to do. Anyway, on Tuesday he came out. So this was on Saturday, the press conference. A couple of days later he comes out and he defended his remarks. Usually what happens is then you have to, if you make a mistake, that you got to go quickly and backtrack.
Yeah.
But it's Trump. Yeah, this is Trump. So Trump came out and defended it, to say that he'd seen violence on both sides, and further he went out of his way to criticize, basically he criticized the counter-protesters and defended the white supremacist or alternative right group. So what he said is that the alternative right group contained very fine people who simply detested the removal of the statues they were protesting the removal of a general from the Confederate War, Robert E. Lee. So he was saying, it was very fine people, they're just concerned about that. And he said at the same time, he noticed that among the counter-protesters were many bad people, with black clothing and baseball bats who'd come to cause trouble.
Was he watching something else?
And so this is what he was saying. And then he even was saying, he was talking about the legitimate concerns of the right, saying that how far are we going to take it? Like, if you want to take down statues, does that mean that the statue of George Washington comes down because he was a slave owner?
No, then he said, the bit I liked, he said, Thomas Jefferson, are you familiar with him?
Yeah.
He was a slave owner. Like, do you like him? No.
So he's saying it's history.
Yeah.
He's saying it's history, so he was identifying with it. And then as a result of...
But hold on.
Go on.
He's saying it's history.
Yeah.
It is history.
Yes.
It's actual facts.
Yes.
Jefferson is like all of those men, white folks don't walk about with their names anymore. Those names are like black names nowadays. Washington and Jefferson is black names. They had a comedy called The Jeffersons, and why have you chose The Jeffersons? Because that's a typical black name. So directly, what he's talking about, he was spot on. He slam dunked that one.
But people were saying that, it's and this is what I was getting, this was what's making me laugh with all the Fox commentators. They were saying that it's offensive. It's like, how would Jewish people feel? What do they call that flag that they had? The beginning of
Swastika.
Yeah, it's like having that for Jewish people, it's offensive. These statues have to be taken down. But then I'm thinking, but there's monuments to all of these people all across, even in this country. There's monuments everywhere.
Of Parliament. Me and Khalid went to the Houses of Parliament, and on our way in and our way out, I've just gone through the names. I'm looking at the dates of these people from 1672, and it's like for the Great Trade and International.
Trade.
What's the trade? 1672. What was your
the
trading,
commodity
fella?
that was being traded?
And there's a statue of you this very day in Parliament. So they've always venerated their people.
But now it's open and people are discussing it.
You had this thing where, do you remember you was talking about it last week, and you said they was talking about this brother, is it Justin Gatlin?
Yeah, the sprinter.
Okay, and they kept saying like he had been banned for drug use or something.
Yeah, 2 times.
And every day they spoke about him, they
Drug
said,
cheat.
drug cheat Justin Gatlin tied his shoes. Drug cheat Justin Gatlin. Okay, he ran, but remember he's a drug cheat. But they never want to remember that they're the children of the slave traders. Yeah. They never want to remember the terrorism that they visited on us. That bit must be swept under the carpet, and it's it's actually rude. It's not English. It's bad form to actually remind the slave traders' children that everything you have. You understand all this here, like all your capital cities. All that is off our back. Like, because by rights we should be saying, descendant of slave traders, Benedict Cumberbatch, went to the Oscars today. Should we not? we should be saying that. But we don't do that because it's poor form. It would be like, how rude can you be? But they want to do that to us, and then we're rolling with it.
No, and this is the point. And so eventually, though, he came under so much fire from all corners. We can get into that a little bit later. But celebrities, politicians, including the Republicans, major business figures. He had like a business group that he was working with, and basically had to be disbanded because these people were saying they couldn't be seen to be dealing with him because of his response, basically. And even Apple put out a statement to say that, it's going to be different. They don't support his views or whatever. And then basically he came up with this statement to say that he denounced the KKK and that they were, repugnant to everything we hold dear as Americans. Now, the funny thing about this was done. It was an impromptu kind of conference. Teleprompter was out. He read. So when he was speaking free, you knew what you got. This is, no, Donald, behave. This is what you're reading. All right, fine then. And he's gone and done that. So really, I think a lot of...
I'm sorry, but here's my thing.
Yeah.
If he renounces the KKK, what changes for us?
We just feel better.
Just say, like, come on now, like, really, it's
really,
so this is, that's what David was saying, it was all emotions. It's like, really, what we're looking for is, can't you give me a hug? I don't need freedom, I don't need reparations, just love me.
But you know what, a lot of black people are concerned, because this is what I was getting from reading different people's opinions on it and listening to different people. What they're saying is,